Realtors, here's an unpopular opinion right now. With N.A.R.'s recent surprising and shocking actions, it's now time to exercise our free speech and get some clarity on the way forward as entrepreneurs, as business owners, and first and foremost, real estate agents. What's going on in our industry currently is demonstrative of a serious lack of direction and leadership. We have people out of touch with the daily practices of our industry making serious and consequential decisions for the industry. The same way that politicians in this country are out of touch with their constituents, this association appears to be out of touch with its members. This is par for the course for everything else that we're going through in this country currently. The very fiber of our society is melting down around us due to weak leadership, not governed by principle, but rather their own self-serving interests. And from where I stand, our industry is going through the same ills. We've had a revolving door of leadership at N.A.R. in recent years due to severe legal challenges, sexual misconduct scandals, and cowardice in the face of blackmail. Listen, the decision to settle rather than appeal is the ultimate act of treason against its members. N.A.R. maintains that no wrongdoing occurred, meaning that they know antitrust laws have not been violated, yet they have made a decision in direct opposition with the very position that they maintain. Make no mistake about it, Realtors, this settlement isn't for you, it's for them. This is in the interest of self-preservation. They would rather capitulate at your expense in order to avoid bankruptcy than protect our industry and our practices. Practices that we all know do not violate antitrust laws and serve consumers and realtors at the highest level. For leadership to even suggest that removing an element of transparency in the way we do business by removing the cooperating broker fee from the MLS is wrong. It's wrong. An example of a positive change we made was 2 years ago when we chose to make the cooperating broker fee public-facing information that consumers could access online. And now they're backtracking and stripping that away from consumers and realtors alike. You are effectively removing an element of transparency in N.A.R., not installing one in an attempt to wash your hands clean of any more commission lawsuits. This decision allows you to hide and clean your hands of the commission conversation, but it forces us as realtors to hide and figure out a way to operate our businesses in a way that seems ambiguous. Kevin Sears himself said in a press release, "We had a profound obligation to do what's best not just for N.A.R., but also for its members." The first part of this is the Freudian slip. The latter is lip service. Yes, it's clear that you had an obligation to do what's best for N.A.R., Kevin. Meanwhile, your members' businesses and lives are about to permanently be altered by your decision to negotiate with people harassing and terrorizing the real estate industry. And by doing so, you have threatened the very foundation of how realtors do business with each other, with their clients, and on the MLS. Realtors, evil prevails when good men stand by and do nothing. N.A.R., if your position is in fact that no wrongdoing occurred, then why aren't you moving forward on an appeal and hiring a better, more lucid defense attorney? Is the judicial system here for justice, to uncover the truth behind a set of facts? Or is it here to serve unscrupulous and greedy attorneys and the shills they represent? I would have so much more respect for you, N.A.R., as a leader in trade association if you stood up for what you knew was right for this industry, and that is protecting and defending it against false allegations. We all know ubiquitously that this industry and the realtors that you serve have not violated antitrust laws, yet you want us to change our business practices for no clear reason. Our association forms are blank where the commission percentage goes, for Christ's sake. That is evidence enough that N.A.R. and realtors are absolved of any and all price-fixing allegations. We don't receive these forms from our state associations with the commission already baked into the contract. What does that mean to you? That means that the listing agent and seller come to an agreement. They negotiate on what to put on that form, and then a seller of sound mind and conscience enters into that contract. We all know it's at the very core of our industry to negotiate commission, and the forms themselves that all sellers sign corroborate that. The very same forms the corrupted plaintiffs signed. These forms alone are exculpatory evidence. Why is nobody talking about that? N.A.R.'s attorney was asleep at the wheel, so I ask you, wake up and do better for the realtors you serve. We have a shot at correcting this with better representation because we all know that the verdict and allegations are patently false. N.A.R., you know the verdict in Missouri was baseless. As an organization proclaiming that it has the authority to lead our industry into the next decade, we expect you as your members to stand in solidarity with us and fight for what's right, not take the path of least resistance, a path paved by cowardice, not bravery. Do you understand that if you actually won on an appeal, that you would build a wall of protection around us from more bogus antitrust suits? But instead what you've done is you have set a legal precedent that we will negotiate with terrorists and settle when false allegations yield baseless verdicts. Where's your integrity to stand with the truth and see to it that the truth of our trade and profession gets to see the light of day, N.A.R.? Instead, what you've done is you've opened the door for these damaging national headlines and false narratives to wreak havoc on our reputations and value as professionals this past year. How dare you cave while our industry and reputations are being crucified like this, and then to put the final nail in the coffin, propose changes that threaten the very foundation of the way we do business with each other and our clients on the MLS. You've allowed your members to be dragged through the mud when we as Realtors have done absolutely nothing wrong, and you know it. And the most egregious part about all of this is that you didn't just decide to settle financially, N.A.R. You could have at least left it at that. You could have just left it at the money. We would have all been way less offended had you just left it there. But you decided to dig the knife of betrayal in deeper by throwing our rules of engagement that go hand in hand with our Realtor Code of Ethics on the MLS on the chopping block, hindering the way we do business, threatening the way we do business. All N.A.R. has demonstrated is incompetency and inability to retain quality leadership, and frankly, proven its ability to cave under pressure and serve its Realtors and their businesses up on a silver platter to a litigious and bureaucratic guillotine. If you had any job at all, N.A.R., it was to protect Realtors from massive commission lawsuits like this, especially when you know the way we conduct business is sound. And if you're incapable of protecting your members from false allegations and a disparaging narrative, then I'm really confused as to what your purpose and value is here. And let me make this very clear. By removing the cooperating broker fee from the MLS, you are opening Pandora's box and initiating practices that are going to be very dangerous and may have unintended consequences for Realtors and consumers alike. We just took 10 steps back on Monday after the 5 steps forward we took when we chose to disclose the cooperating broker fee to the public. That was all the transparency that we needed. Your proposed changes at face value are actually designed to prevent Realtors from advertising a cooperating broker fee at all, really leaving us hanging out to dry in the process to figure out how we're going to get paid, forcing us to negotiate under the table amongst ourselves so that you can wash your hands clean of the age-old commission and price-fixing suits once and for all. That's called cowardice. You're hiding and you're forcing us to hide, which is the problem here. And this goes directly against the way we as Realtors want to do business. N.A.R., if it was up to me, you'd be gone and we'd be governing ourselves at the state level because the state associations are fully capable of doing so. And if you continue to take actions in direct contradiction to the truth and the interests of your members by bowing down to a false narrative on the national stage, allowing our industry's reputation to be eroded and marred, then I can assure you you're on borrowed time. Realtors, as our country continues to slide into corruptible practices by trusted leadership, we may want to have a conversation with our state association about what it looks like to keep membership at the state level and absolve our ties to a national association that is perpetually failing us. I urge you to go out there now and get vocal with your local association. Send emails, leave voicemails, show up in peace but in person, and let them know that you're paying for the sins of N.A.R. and that these proposed rule changes are intolerable. Be vocal and call the president of your association, and if all else fails, we may need to consider going back to just being good old-fashioned real estate agents. We cannot trust N.A.R. to protect the rights and integrity of our industry any longer. And if you want proof of what I'm saying, look at the national headlines, listen to the current narrative online and in the news. If you want proof of the job N.A.R. is doing for you, then look no further to the national smear campaign sweeping through the country right now saying, "Gone are the days of paying realtor commissions." That's your business and your livelihood that they're allowing to be disparaged like that. And you have to ask yourself why. Why are your clients texting you right now asking if this impacts your job? Because N.A.R. has failed us and they are operating with one thing in mind: self-preservation. They have willingly yielded to a lie and are allowing that lie to break the back of this industry. And N.A.R., answer us this: with the hundreds of millions of dollars that you have, where's our good PR? With the $2.6 million salary you paid Bob Goldberg, where are the commercials that tech companies like Realtor.com, Zillow, and HomeLight have done to promote agency and homeownership, but you haven't? You've made a lot of bad decisions for our industry, and I mean, for Christ's sake, we don't even own Realtor.com, and that's our own trade name. You sold us down the river on that too. But sincerely, where's our good PR showing the American public the value of finding a quality local real estate agent? What are you doing with our money other than taking multiple 7- and 6-figure salaries and spitting in our face? I'm no longer interested in rubbing elbows and going along to get along. There are peacetime leaders and there are wartime leaders, and right now war is being waged on our industry, the way we do business, and our livelihoods. This is serious, Realtors, and you and I and all of us need to demand better results for our industry. This all falls on the shoulders of N.A.R's inability to protect us and stand for the truth. We know price fixing is a farce. We are allowing our national association to settle and put a Band-Aid on a wound that never existed. If they don't fight for us, then we need to stand up together, united, and take back our name, our respect, and our industry. My name is Callie Kelly. I am the designated broker and owner at Marathon Realty of Idaho. I hope to see you on the front lines making positive change in our industry. Do not forget what I said. Evil happens when good men stand by and do nothing. This is no longer business as usual, my friends. We are going to have to be vocal. For those of you that are uncomfortable with confrontation, you're going to have to take a stand. You're gonna have to draw a line in the sand and say no. We do not accept these proposed rule changes. For everything that I stated in this video, it is unnecessary and it's an abuse of power. These decisions were made out of cowardice. They were not practical decisions. We expect our leaders to defend our name, our truth, and our integrity. And there is a serious and virulent smear campaign flooding the nation right now, threatening our very industry, our jobs, our businesses, our client relationships. This is unacceptable, team, and we cannot tolerate it anymore.